We begin with breaking news from Normal Heights, where San Diego police officers are engaged in a standoff. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Anna Laurel. This all started just before 4 this afternoon. San Diego police say officers were doing a welfare check on a man who said he was in mental distress in the area of 40th Street and Adams Avenue. It's near the 805. Officers say when they got there, someone shot at them. No injuries are reported. Right now, there is a heavy police presence. The public is asked to avoid this area. We've got a crew on the way. We'll bring you updates as we get them.
Our other top story tonight, San Diego city crews are getting ready for a powerful rainstorm that's set to leave our area soaked heading into Christmas.
A so-called Pineapple Express is barreling toward us, and forecasters say it could deliver days of heavy rain and dangerous conditions. Meteorologist Sean Stiles is tracking the storm and will tell us when it's supposed to start.
First, let's check in with Alex Cheney live in Mission Beach, where city crews are getting ready for this storm system. Alex.
Yeah, Carlo, that's right. We were here in Mission Beach today where we saw those city crews really rushing to get ready for that incoming rain this week. They said after some really significant flooding nearly 2 years ago, crews are on high alert. City crews were out early this morning in Mission Bay clearing storm drains.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And removing debris from flood-prone areas.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Shelly Mastery lives in Mission Beach and is happy to see city crews preparing for the rain.
Well, I mean, yeah, clear the drains. We all try. The palm trees lose their palms, and we come out and get them quickly because once you've seen it flood, you know.
Ramon Galindo from the city of San Diego says the city has 46,000 storm drains with crews working quickly to clear them.
All the city employees right now, all hands on deck. There's a lot of work that's happening ahead of this forecasted storm.
In early November, the city of San Diego's stormwater department conducted channel maintenance in Mountain View, an area that was hit hard by heavy rains in January of 2024.
There's really been a big investment in that channel maintenance, so we've been doing that over the past several months just to make sure that whenever this stormy season that we're in right now.
Back in Mission Bay, Shelly is grateful to receive the rain, but is worried about the flooding risk.
We need the water. It's the first thing out of Californians and the San Diegans' mouth. We need the water, but concern. Oh, there's so many places in San Diego that flood so badly.
The city of San Diego says to check for flood risks around your home. And if you want some sandbags, we have a list on our website of city-approved places where you can pick them up and be easy to find if you need to help protect your home. Now, for more on when exactly that rain is going to get here, let's head over to meteorologist Sean Stiles.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we've been keeping our eye on this storm as it's made its way down the coastline, first pounding northern part of the state and now moving into the central part. Here in San Diego, we have a flood watch, and this flood watch literally extends up and down the California state from the northern part all the way here into Southern California. We're expecting the rains to start to arrive as early as tomorrow late in the evening into the early morning hours of Christmas Eve. With that said, we have a weather impact in place. That heavy rain could be as heavy as 1 to 2 inches in a couple hours, so roadways will be very slick. We'll see flooding in many of the locations like Sorrento Valley, in the Fashion Valley area. South Mission Beach will certainly be one of those. And as you can see, the rain piles up very, very quickly. The brunt of this storm looks to be to the north of us, but it could be just a couple 50, 60 miles, and we could see that heavy rain come into Southern California. So we've got the weather impact for Christmas Eve and, yes, for Christmas Day. Along the coastline, at least 1.5 inches to 2 inches. The foothills and mountains could see 2 to 4 inches of rain as this storm makes its way in. I'll give you more details on this in just a bit.
All right, Sean, thank you. And remember, you can get weather alerts sent straight to your smartphone and stream Sean's extended forecast. It's all on our free CBS 8 app.
Tonight, still no decision from a federal court on whether California's redistricting plan can move forward. The ruling was expected to come down today, and it could significantly impact the congressional balance of power in next year's midterm elections. Court transcripts suggest the judges may be leaning toward upholding voter-approved maps. Democrats and state officials argue those maps were drawn for political reasons to counter the national effect of Texas's redistricting plan. But Republicans here argue that race was a motivating factor in drawing the new lines, and that would violate the Voting Rights Act. Democratic attorneys general of 21 states, including California, along with Washington, D.C., are suing the Trump administration for its attempts to defund the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
It's an Obama-era federal agency created to protect Americans from consumer fraud and discriminatory lending. CBS 8's Steffi Roche joins us in studio. Steffi, what have you learned about this lawsuit?
Well, the coalition involved here, the coalition of states led by Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield, is asking the court to prevent the Trump administration from requesting $0 in funds for its operations and to order it to request money from the Federal Reserve to fulfill its duties as required by the law. The coalition argues defunding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, will have devastating impacts on consumers and disrupt states' consumer protection abilities, which rely on consumer complaints and data from the agency. The CFPB protects consumers in the financial marketplace by writing and enforcing rules, supervising banks and lenders, monitoring markets, and handling complaints about financial products like mortgages, credit cards, and student loans, ensuring they are fair and transparent. Earlier today, California Attorney General Rob Bonta addressed this lawsuit.
Today's lawsuit defends the rule of law and the basic principle that no administration can erase consumer protections simply by refusing to enforce them. Our message is clear. California will always stand up for families, for fair markets, and for accountability, even when the federal government doesn't.
And after the U.S. mortgage market crashed back in 2008 and millions of Americans lost their jobs, savings, retirements, and homes, Congress in 2010 established the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to become the country's first financial regulatory agency with a goal to protect consumers. In the studio, I'm Steffi Roche, CBS 8.
It's important for people to know, Steffi. Thank you. Poway set the date to hold a special election to fill its vacated District 2 City Council seat. The council voted to schedule the election for June 2nd to coincide with the state primary. Last month, Poway voters overwhelmingly voted to recall former district council member Tony Blaine. He faces multiple felony charges, including perjury and soliciting bribes. Blaine resigned the day after the recall vote. Poway's city attorney says holding the special election in June will cost between $10,000 and $25,000, as opposed to holding it in April when it would have cost $300,000.
It is a pet owner's nightmare. Your dog safe at home in your own backyard. Suddenly something goes terribly wrong. CBS 8's Brian White talked to a Sorrento Valley woman who says that's what happened when her dog was poisoned.
It was a normal day here in this quiet Sorrento Valley neighborhood with Bruno playing in the backyard like usual, but when his owner looked out the window, she saw him chewing on something strange.
It was right here, kind of right in the middle of our yard.
Sabrina Brazo ran out immediately to see what her golden retriever Bruno had in his mouth.
He was chewing on, there were like these two little bundles, and it was wrapped in this string, and when I kind of pulled it open, it had this blue chemical in there and these metal hooks.
She immediately knew something was wrong and rushed Bruno to a veterinary hospital in Sorrento Valley just minutes away.
I had him there probably within 20-30 minutes. Again, thank goodness I watched him eating whatever it was he was eating.
Veterinarians induced vomiting, pulling up pieces of metal and a blue substance they believe could be poison.
She said that she thought it could be rat poison, and that was really unsettling.
Bruno's size helped, and because his owner acted quickly, he survived and is doing well. But it left Sabrina shaken, especially since she's lived here for 28 years without anything like this ever happening.
You know, your backyard, you feel like it should be your safe place, your haven, and to not know where it came from makes it even just more, sinister.
Months earlier, Brazo, who sits on the San Diego Unified School Board, received this suspicious letter in the mail with no return address and complaints about barking. She says Bruno does bark at times, but not excessively, and when that happens, she'll bring him inside. With her husband passing away in June from brain cancer, she says Bruno has been a real comfort.
It's been really great to have him during a time that's been really difficult for our family.
The San Diego Humane Society's humane law enforcement is now investigating. Officers collected samples of the suspected poison. They say intentionally harming an animal is a crime.
This could happen to us. It could easily happen to someone else. Just to be careful and be checking your yard, even though you think it might be safe.
If you have any information about what happened, you're urged to contact San Diego Humane Society. In Sorrento Valley, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thanks, Brian.